Today we will be reading I Hate English by Levine, illustrated by Steve Bjorkman. I hate English, Mei said in her head, in Chinese. Mei was smart in school, in her school, in Hong Kong, in Chinese. But her family moved to New York. She didn't know why. She didn't want to move. And she said all that in Chinese. Chinatown in New York was okay. People looked like people she knew. People talked like people she knew. In Chinese. In New York in school, everything happened in English. Such a lonely language. Each letter stands alone and makes its own noise. Not like Chinese. Sometimes English letters fight each other. We will go on a class trip, the teacher said, in English. Trip? Thought Mei. The letters T and R bang against each other, and each keeps its own sound. Not like Chinese. Mei loved Chinese, especially writing. Fast strokes, short strokes, long strokes. The brush, the pen, the pencil, all seemed to fly in her hand. But that was Chinese. Mei wouldn't speak in school. Most of the time she understood what her teacher said, but everything was in English, and Mei wouldn't speak English. One day her cousin Bing took her to the Chinatown Learning Center. Students brought their homework for help, but not Mei. She wouldn't work in English. Tutors helped the older ones with their English. Mei helped the little ones with arithmetic. She was good at arithmetic. Numbers were in English or Chinese. They were just numbers. Mei loved the center. She talked and listened and explained and argued. She did everything in Chinese. She helped the director set up the tables. She played ping pong and checkers. She sang songs. She wrote letters to friends in Hong Kong, all in Chinese. Dear Yi Fong, she wrote in Chinese, how would you like me to visit you? She laughed as she finished the letter. Then she had to write the address. In English. Silly post office in New York, she thought. Why can't they read Chinese? Mei had a dream. She thought about it at least once a day, sometimes twice or three times. She told Bing about it, in Chinese. All the gang, Bing and Mona and Shek and Leo and Anne, would go on a plane to Hong Kong. On the plane, everybody would speak Chinese. Instead, they went to Jones Beach with the director. Mei and her friends rode on 3 trains and 1 bus. They brought lunch, bathing suits, towels, and empty pails. The trip took 2 hours, and they talked and joked the whole way, in Chinese. Leo and Bing buried themselves in the sand. Anne and Mona built a castle on top of them. Shek, said Mei, let's dig for shellfish. And off they went with their pails. You can't eat those, said the lifeguard. Mei smiled and kept on digging. He probably doesn't know how to cook them, she said, in Chinese. She was right. The director made a fire in the picnic area and cooked the shellfish. Nobody said a word. Everybody was busy, very busy, eating. At last, Mei looked up and said, delicious, in Chinese. And then one day, a terrible thing happened.